A brief summary of the fictional story of Oedipus Rex and his children, and what leads up to the story of the play Antigone. Well, once upon a time, far away, all that stuff, in Greece, there was a king and a queen, King Laius and Queen Jocasta of Thebes. And you can tell they're king and queen, of course, because of those shiny hats. Very beautiful. Well, they had a baby boy. Baby boy's name was Oedipus. Oedipus was a wonderful little baby. You can see how cute he is right there, right? Adorable, right? But there was something a little bit creepy about this boy because there was a prophecy that came with Oedipus, and that he was to grow up to kill his father and marry his mother. So his parents freaked out and did what any normal human being would do. And they pushed him out into the wilderness and left him there to die. Poor baby Oedipus. Anyway, that didn't happen, fortunately. He was rescued and he was taken to another king and queen and became their son. They too have beautifully shiny hats. Anyhow, as he grows up, someone tells him, hey look Oedipus, you know what? Surprise, you're adopted. And Oedipus does not like that at all. He doesn't want to believe it. So he goes on a little trip to find the truth. And he goes to the oracle at Delphi, and he asks the oracle if he is in fact adopted. But the oracle does not give him a very straight answer. The oracle does tell him the same prophecy that he'll kill his father and marry his mother. And so he thinks that he better get away from his father and mother so he doesn't hurt them. But he doesn't realize they're not really his real mother and father. So he leaves town and goes away. And on his journey away from home and his mother and father, he runs into this man and this group of other men, and they get into an argument. They get into a fight. And it's really bad. It's a bad argument. And it's a bad fight. They start beating each other up, and there's blood everywhere and fists everywhere and bodies everywhere, and Oedipus is just beating people up everywhere and killing people, and it's a little bit insane. Oedipus kills quite a lot of people, including this old man. And this old man's name is Laius. Maybe that sounds familiar, but Oedipus doesn't know him, and Oedipus doesn't care. He moves on to the city of Thebes. And in the city of Thebes, there is a sphinx who has wings, a woman's head, and a lion's body. And the sphinx is terrorizing the city of Thebes. She's asking a riddle, and the man who cannot answer the riddle, she eats them. So she gives Oedipus a try at the riddle because he thinks he can answer it. And he does answer it. And she is so upset that he's able to answer her riddle. He's the only one that could do it. And she's so upset, she throws herself off a cliff and dies. Because that makes sense. Anyway, everyone in Thebes is happy. And they say, you know what? We don't have a king. So please be our king. And you know what? Our queen doesn't have a husband. So marry her. You can now have a wife. Oh, but wait a minute. Remember, we're in Thebes. This is Queen Jocasta. Does that name sound familiar? Yeah, it should, because that's his mother, his real mother. And Oedipus has now actually married his mother, and they have 4 children. A plague hits Thebes. People are dying everywhere. Oedipus doesn't know why. He needs to find out why. Why is this happening? So he goes on another little journey, and he finds a blind seer, Tiresias. This man tells him, we have to find out who really killed King Laius. We don't know who killed him. We need to find that out. So Oedipus sets to find that out, and there was a witness to King Laius' death, and he says, you know what, it was Oedipus. You did it. You killed the old man. You killed the king. Oedipus puts some things together, and he figures out, oh my god, that was my dad. I killed my father. Oh, this is my mother. I married my mother. He goes to see Jocasta. She figures it out. She hangs herself. So Oedipus is so traumatized by all this, he takes some pins from Jocasta's clothes, her robes, her clothing, and he stabs out his own eyes. He runs away from the city to live all by himself with his 2 daughters to take care of him, old and blind and sad. Well, there's no king. Alright, because he was the king. So his boys are now king. Polynices and Eteocles. They share being king. They take turns, which is kind of a weird thing. And it turns out to be a weird thing because they don't like that. Okay, because eventually, Eteocles kicks out Polynices. He says, "Get out of here. I'm going to be the king. You're not. Leave this land." So Polynices does, but he returns with help from the army of the city of Argos to fight his brother. And so the two brothers have a fight. And there's a big fight. And there's a war. And it's bloody. And it's terrible. And the brothers end up killing each other. Brother kills brother. So Creon, who's their uncle, is now the king. And he's got to show that he can take control and he can take power. So he decides one will be buried properly, given a real funeral. While the other boy, well, he will be left to rot in the wilderness and be eaten by animals. Because, remember, one of the boys came back to fight his hometown. And that was not a very nice thing, King Creon's view. He didn't like that. He brought war upon his hometown. This is where we get to Antigone, their sister. Antigone doesn't like this fact. She knows that the gods want dead bodies to be buried properly, and it bothers her that only one of her brothers will be buried properly, and that the king has ruled that no one can touch the other body. They have to leave it in the wilderness to rot. And this is where we start the story of Antigone. She's upset, she's conflicted, she doesn't know what to do. She wants to do something because she can't stand the thought of her brother not being buried properly.